The coach that had the biggest influence on me was probably Steve Wern from Morningside. He coached me in multiple teams from under 12s, 14s, 16s, so yeah, definitely Steve.
Russell Evans at Cleander Footy Club, he was actually my senior coach, but when I was a junior he was a really good mentor.
Dave Cowell from the Noosa Tigers, he was my under 17s to under 19s coach for Noosa.
The coach that had the biggest influence on me was probably my under 12 coach, Ian Reeves. Still doing a little bit of work down at the Aspley Juniors.
He was one that if you did the wrong thing he'd definitely get up you, but no, he was a fantastic coach, and he put your arm around you if you're doing the right thing, and he certainly was a very good mentor in preparing me for AFL.
Reevesy was certainly an old school coach. I remember he used to make sure the boys before training, we'd go to the fence and he'd be standing there just inside the boundary line, and he'd roll the ball out in front of us to work on our ground ball. So yeah, did a lot of that. Probably was a little bit old to get involved in the drills with us, but yeah, loved it, and yeah, it was a great support for all the boys.
What kind of a coach? Steve was a pretty old school coach. I still remember at training, he used to join in the drills. He cleaned up a few kids every now and again. So yeah, he was pretty old school.
Yeah, he was really good. He was always someone you could lean on and always ask for advice. So yeah, I still remember all the tips he gave me going up for the juniors.
Best advice that Reevesy gave me was probably to keep my feet in the contest. He always said that, you know, if you fall to ground, then you're out of the contest, and yeah, obviously the team can get away with the ball. So yeah, keeping your feet in the contest was something that he told us.
Yeah, probably always just to work hard. When the footy's always in the area, go hard, compete in every contest, and eventually things will turn your way.
The best advice Steve ever gave was probably to do with tackling. He was a big believer in that tackling was all a mindset thing. It was all in the mind and not so much technique. So he thought that if you had the mindset that you could make them tackle, then you could. So that's definitely stuck with me.
Yeah, it was quite funny. I was when I was about 15, 16 years old, I was playing on the wing, and I was going back to the flight in the training session, and I sort of ducked my head a little bit, and he's come over and he sort of gave me a bake. He said, "You're not going to be able to hear your own teammates calling you back. You just got to go back with the flight and back yourself in." So that's certainly something that's stuck out to me when I was younger.
Winning the under-18s grand final against Palm Beach. We come back from behind from about 3 goals in the last quarter, and we ended up winning by less than a goal. So yeah, still remember that from a long time ago.
My fondest memory was probably under 16s grand final against Sandgate a few years ago now, but we were up against the highly touted Sandgate, who probably had a better team than ours, and we had a few injuries early and we were getting smashed, but somehow we came back and won, and it was a pretty epic grand final. It's probably still one of the best games I've ever played in, so yeah.
On the back oval at O'Callaghan Park at Zilmia, it was under 12s Division 3 grand final. We played against Jim Boomer Redbacks, and we were probably the underdog going into the game, and yeah, I don't know, we seemed to play really well as a team, and we won the grand finals.
Not sure if it's my favourite moment, but we were playing a final against Maroochydore at Fisherman's Road, and I went into the square too early, and the umpire blew his whistle, and I just remember hearing his voice saying, "Get Eric Hipwood off the field." And I've sort of tried to run the other way, but I've ended up having to go to the boundary line. Get that Eric Hipwood off the field.
So righto, young fellas, get over here, come on, get to the fence, we're going to roll some balls out.
And when we won the granny and the siren went, you could actually hear Tinners give a big "come on" to the crowd, so still remember that.
My best impersonation of Steve, so there used to be this umpire called Randall that used to umpire quite a bit, and you could always hear Steve from the box every game, and it would always be, "Come on, Randall!" And yeah, a lot of the boys still talk about that to this day. So.